Hello, how you all doing, everyone? Welcome to another live. We're blasting out these lives since being back from abroad. I hope you're all keeping very well. Obviously, news is developing every day, so I am going to touch upon the last 24 hours as per usual. Do get your comments coming in the live chat. Have I done it? Yes, that way. Yeah, we are live on Twitch as well, and YouTube, of course. Drop us a massive like for the content and interaction. And obviously we'll go through the news. As I say, I went to non-league last night, so I missed obviously the a town called Malick Thiaw signing. That's going to be sung, isn't it? A town called Malick. Yeah. It is, isn't it? It is. Right. So, obviously I missed it. I'm in another football match than it. I'm doing 7 out of 8 days with games. So I'm going to see Newcastle under 21s play. So you'll get an update over on NFTV Extra about that. So make sure you subscribe to both channels because there's content just flying out. Afternoon, Paul. Afternoon, Wolfzone. I hope you're all keeping very, very well. So we'll just go back more or less 24 hours. And obviously we're seeing that Sevilla, if you follow their English account at all, they've been doing a lot of Geordie expressions like Howie Newcastle and war new keeper and all that sort of stuff. They're having a bit of banter, which is fine. I like that. I like it today. Obviously, that was official yesterday that Odysseas Vlachodimos has joined them on loan for the rest of the season. Now, we are paying the majority of the wages because Sevilla don't have a ton of money. But it means it doesn't get written off as a loss if we loan him out. I'm not sure if there's an actual loan fee. I would imagine it would be, but I couldn't imagine it being that high, to be honest with you. A couple of million, maybe. I'm just speculating there. I can't say it more than that, but I think it's good news that he's off the books. Strangely enough, I bumped into Aston Metro Centre and he was buying loads of bottle of water once. So there we go, claim with him. Odysseas Vlachodimos has spoken in his first interview since completing his loan move. Speaks actually Spanish as well. So fair play and pushing the club back to the top. Can't wait to start and follow the footsteps of Starters, who's obviously been there before. And obviously he's won trophies in Portugal, of course, and Greece and well-established Greek internationals, and now in his early 30s, not getting any game time. He's behind John Ruddy, so that tells you, doesn't it? And obviously Newcastle's goalkeeping situation is all complete now. Finally, we can stop all the speculation. So we've got Nick Pope, we've got Ramsdale as we're competing for number one. Those two, you've got John Ruddy, Mark Gillespie. And then obviously got Max Thompson, the young one. And obviously Vlachodimos has head out loan. Dubravka's left. So yeah, we will come to Nick Pope a little bit later because I do want to touch about something about him later. But you've all got your comment in. Hello, Frankie. It's the National League Cup for the under-21s tonight, says Matt. It is. That's the one I'm going to tonight. The Greek had a great record, no goals conceded. Yeah, he played half a game against Wimbledon, and he's part of a winning side. I say that loosely, winning the heavy loan fee. I would love it to be heavy loan fee, but I just can't see it. How does it go? Is a loss if we sold him. It goes down to loss, doesn't it? We're not going to get 20 million for him. So just watch True Geordie's first time. Love the passion. Yeah, he can go on a rant or two, can't he? Josh, hello, Josh. Good to see you. Cheers, Lee. Just driving into work and listening to you. Do you think if we get El Canus and Ramsey, that means we might be playing with a false nine? No, I think it's one or the other. We'll come to that in a minute because I do want to speak about Ramsey. I think one of the journals has said that as well. I don't think we'll sign two. I think it'll be one or the other. Afternoon from Spain, from sunny Spain. It's sunny in Newcastle, actually. It's been quite warm the last few days. It's been about 27, 28 degrees. Not that you've tuned in the weather report or anything like that. But I do keep your comments coming in. If you're just joining us, drop us a like. Even Vlachodimos is telling you to like the video. Look at that. That was right on cue. Love it. Absolutely love that. Right. Okie dokie then. So, Malick Thiaw, I want to play this to you.
It speaks for itself. To finally have made this move with the fans, with the stadium. I can't wait. I came here with some ambitions. And I know the Newcastle is an ambitious club as well. When I hit Newcastle, I said, yeah, I really want to do it. Because they knew that's what I wanted. New journey, new challenge. I'm ready. I'm Malick Thiaw. I'm Newcastle United.
Love that. Do you know obviously you've got it in the video title, First Impressions, which I'll come on to that in a minute. Welcome to Newcastle, Malick. This was 14 hours ago. Obviously, I was at the non-league game when this was getting pushed out. We were delighted to announce the signing of defender Malick Thiaw on a long-term deal from Italian side AC Milan. And as obviously he's talked about his interview, if you want to watch the full of that, you can watch it on the club's website. I'm not going to play too much for copyright reasons.
To start to train with the team and to see all my new teammates and all the new stuff.
It must have been a very busy 24, 48 hours for you. Give us a bit of an insight into what that's been like and what your kind of first thoughts were when you heard that Newcastle United were interested in you.
Yeah, so actually the interest I knew for a while already, but now it went really, really quick. So
if you want to watch the full of that, it's available on the club's website. Obviously, he's spoken briefly. If you've watched it, comes across as a really nice, genuine bloke who's very religious, has a family, he's married for a young age as well. He just seems so grounded and speaks several languages. That tells you a lot about a person, I think. So again, I talked about this the last couple of days on the channels that Eddie Howe doesn't just sign quality, he signs personalities as well. So he'll come in and look, he might not start this weekend. I'm expecting probably Fabian Schär in, I don't know, Botman or Burn. It'll be interesting to see what Eddie Howe goes with, but Malick Thiaw, like new signings, might have to wait for his time to come in. He might have to play a second fiddle for a little while until he learns the Eddie Howe system, and then gets. I think once he gets in that first team, I think he will then become a regular. But obviously Fabian Schär has done fantastic well for us the last 7 years at the club, and how are the lads?
Yes, finally I'm here. I'm really excited to see you all of you, and yeah, how are the lads?
How are the lads indeed, yes. And how do you pronounce his name? Because obviously there's a lot of speculation.
Malick Thiaw. Malick Thiaw. Malick Thiaw.
Malick Thiaw. There you go. We'll come on to Ramsey in a minute. But yeah, great first impressions. Obviously, there's a bits and bobs on the internet saying, look, he's got all these characteristics. His passing accuracy is phenomenal. His pace, he's quick, he's strong. But then the negative side that he's inconsistent. And you know what? I don't mind that too much, to be honest with you. Look, it wasn't oh my God, we'll have to go after a centre back. We know that the strikers are the options, but long term, I think Malick Thiaw will take over the mantle from Fabian Schär, and you would think it would be Botman and Thiaw long term, wouldn't you? Because we've got an age in defence and centre backs and Dan Burn. Dan Burn had the season of his life, and Sven Botman, even when he did get fit, couldn't dislodge him, and rightly so, because Burn had the season of his life. So yeah, Stephen says, FFS, can we get Wissa over the line? We do have an update on Wissa. We're going to come to that. It's only just come out the last 10 minutes to say it. So great time, Malick Thiaw. People jumping on the gun on this deal think he will stay at Villa now. Is this the Ramsey one? El Canus is Ben Arthur-esque, had to be adored, and Wissa will be done by Friday, in my opinion. We need Wissa in ASAP, says Tom. And the Mighty Quinn says, no, Steve, I was talking about taking the whiz. Oh, pun. Way. Oh, there'll be puns there. Well, I've already done one town called Malick, you know. That's going to be... I'm going to get that sung, you know. I'm going to get that gun in it's Villa Park. And, right, so first impressions are fantastic. Look, we needed a lift from yesterday, because we've seen it yesterday morning. I didn't want to talk about Alexander Isak a great deal today. I want to move away from that because I was such negged out yesterday, and I'm pleased I went doing the quayside and cheered myself up and met a pal. And it was just good to get away from all that, because it really, really annoyed us yesterday morning. And I think the club needed a lift, the fans needed a lift, and I think that signing of Malick Thiaw was perfect. It was a lift that we all needed. It was a bit of positivity that came back, especially social media, because social media can be toxic. We've already seen it with the armchair fans from the likes of Liverpool and Man United giving a stick. Oh, you think you're a bigger club and all this, but despite them never being to Old Trafford or Anfield, yeah, it just make you laugh. And I think the whole club and the fan base needed a lift, and that signing was a massive, massive lift. It was good time, and we needed it. I think we did need it. Let's have a look at your comments, and we'll go back to some more news as well. Who is Isak, says the Mighty Quinn? Yeah, sick of the Isak talk, says Tom. Bournemouth need a replacement first. Chip. As we are going to come to that as well, because it does have a knock-on effect. Good signing, Joe. Good age, who can mature and be more assisted by Eddie. Ramsey, I hope, will sign, but the desperate need Wissa. And it goes on and on and on about Isak. One thing I do want to stress is that the Ramsey deal is not done. It's false news. I've seen 2 videos go up on YouTube, and I've seen one media post an article saying that the Ramsey deal is done. That's false information. It isn't done. They are continuing to talk. It's likely to happen, but it's not a done deal. That's false information, whoever's putting that out. Matt goes on to say, yeah, I agree, we need to break from all the Isak stuff. Haven't gone on Sky Sports News today, and the signing has helped. Hopefully this over the next couple of days. So as I say, Ramsey deal is in the pipeline, but it's not done. We are going to talk about that lad next. So exclusive, and it was Craig Hope was the first one to put it out last night. Newcastle are tonight pressing ahead with a move to sign Aston Villa midfielder Jacob Ramsey. Talks set to intensify tomorrow, i.e. that's today now, and a formal offer set to be submitted. Hope of progress before the weekend. So that was on that. And then Keith Downey, then a little bit later after Hope has gone out to say Newcastle are indeed in talks over to move for Jacob Ramsey. Was told yesterday that they are considering an approach before it was halted and off this morning, but it's back on again. Still no official offer of Villa, but one likely to follow soon. Villa are looking to sell a player to comply with financial fair play. Newcastle have been long admirers of the 24-year-old. And Mark Douglas says, Malick Thiaw in, Jacob Ramsey progress expected soon. Newcastle transfer window taking a positive turn. Ramsey is a long-term target, very highly rated by Eddie Howe. Newcastle thought they might get him early in the window, but Aston Villa solved their PSR issues. Now positive noises again. And then Craig Hope, just 4 hours back, says Newcastle are expected to finalise a deal for Jacob Ramsey today. So it's not done yet, but it is expected. I must stress on that. Talks resumed last night, and Aston Villa midfielder has indicated he wants to join. Confidence he will be a Newcastle player before the weekend, which is ironic because we'll play Aston Villa. And then Jacob Tanswell from The Athletic goes on to say Jacob Ramsey is now holding talks with Villa over his future. No agreement yet, but situation may develop quickly. His exit could allow Aston Villa to strengthen in centre-back attacker and would lose a local lad with huge potential still. Yeah, so it's key that you've got to remember, it's similar to us where we sold Longstaff for the PSR reasons. Ramsey's a club-trained player, and they will pocket pure profit. I know you hate that terminology, but they will pure profit. A little bit of stats as well from Adam Bate, who works as a football journalist for Sky Sports, and he says that Jacob Ramsey is an interesting player. I found the statistic particularly intriguing because it hints at his clever movement and the potential for him to do some more. So high availability between the lines. Ramsey was second, only literally just behind Kevin De Bruyne for last season. So a very interesting stat is that, isn't it? So very useful midfielder. And Kieran goes on to say, who's a Newcastle fan, if you don't think Jacob Ramsey upgrades our midfield, you just don't know football. Can play in centre mid, attacker mid, shadow striker and left wing, and is a considerable step up from Longstaff and arguably Willock. And this was way back when we tweeted this out back in January, 18 months ago, about Ramsey. This is Unai Emery saying that he wanted to keep him.
Starts. Jacob Ramsey is a very important player. He grew up here in the academy, and his progression is clear, getting better. His level is increasing a lot, and I want to keep him here with us. And of course, he starts taking some movement around him. Some maybe teams involved around the possibility to sign him. Of course, because he's a big potential player in Aston Villa in England, and I want to keep him here 100%.
So that was way back 18 months ago. And then I think the press conference the next time, Keith Downey asked Eddie Howe directly, are you in for Jacob Ramsey? And Eddie Howe said, no, that's not true. So yeah, make that what you will. And then Downey, actually speak the devil, goes on to say agreement is not there yet with Jacob Ramsey, but talks continue to take place over a £40 million package for the midfielder. There is hope a deal can be struck. From what I'm hearing, there's still work to do. So that's where we're at with Jacob Ramsey. And the question that we have is he better than what we've got? Look, the midfield three, that's not going to be dismantled. But Joelinton can pick up an injury here and there. So Ramsey, is he better than Willock? Yes, I think he is. I think Willock for me is the last 12 months has been very inconsistent and very injury prone as ever since he's been at the club, hasn't he? So for me, we need someone who can be there game after game. Now, you've also got Louis Miley, who's obviously progressing, and there's no doubt about it. We're a little bit weak behind because if anything happens to our midfield three, you've got Louis Miley coming in, but then after that, you've got no depth. And I said this the last couple of days. You had Matt Target playing there in centre midfield. You had Harrison Ashby. You had Alfie Harrison under 21s. It's the depth isn't there. You've got players having to fill in out of position. So Max goes on to say, do like the Ramsey signing. Gavin's got to say, I just hope he doesn't end up like Willock. Aussie Mag, good to see you, pal. Lee, I hope you're doing well, mate. Keep up the great work from all the videos. Cheers, Julian. Gordon Ramsey? And Andrew's gone to say, do you think Ramsey comes in, we'll also bring the lad from Leicester? No, we won't. It's one or the other. And I think Ramsey will be the first pick. Long-term admirers, that's no secret there. Ramsdale, ... It's annoying that Willock's best football was under Bruce. Well, he's playing more in an advanced role, wasn't he? But having said that, Mark, I think his link up with Joelinton on that left-hand side, I thought that was impressive. So that's something that we could utilise again, I think, because Willock and Joelinton have a great understanding over on that left-hand side when you don't have an out-and-out left winger. So I wouldn't write Willock off just yet. I just think he's just too inconsistent at the moment. I think he needs to up his level a little bit. Dylan says, I wish Newcastle can get Lucas Paqueta, Mateta and Samuel. They will surely be fantastic for the club. Yeah, I think that Paqueta link's been squashed. Now, that's not going to happen. And I think Agahawa one's probably more of a dream, isn't it? And Mateta's just not been linked at all. Mind you, so we've still got over 2 weeks left of the 2.5 weeks left of the window. Ramsey's good, Chow's good, Ramsey would be good, Alanga good, Wissa would be good, says Ian, who's one of our members. If you do want to join our membership, by the way, it's only 99 pence. It's the cheapest on YouTube, which is canny. You get some exclusive videos as well every month, about 5 from me, 5 and Joe as well. So we are looking at pushing our Discord as well. You get a Discord with that as well, so you can talk to other Toon fans. James says, let's not forget Willock was very good in Howe's first and 2 seasons. Exactly, I was just mentioning the link-up play with Joelinton on the left-hand side, and he was a key midfielder. I think Willock, he's just his form. I've got every faith he can bring it back. You know, I'm not gonna write Willock off. I think he's just a little bit inconsistent the last year, and if he continues that trend of being inconsistent, I think Miley might get ahead of him. I do. If that continues. Afternoon, chairs. Hope you're doing all right. 1 or 2 strikers and Ramsey would be a good window for us given the circumstances, says WNUS. And we are cooking in the window now. Title charge back on. I love a bit of optimism. And Willock cannot catch a break with injuries, to be honest. Yeah, I agree on that, Ninja. Totally agree. And then Tom's got to say, team desperately need creativity. Isaac provides some of our creativity, but that is not enough, especially against low block teams. Ramsey allows us to go for more traditional strikers. Yeah, and obviously Ramsey has just seen the stat there. Finding space is phenomenal between the lines as well. So I think it's a promising sign. I don't think it's like, oh my God, what an absolute world. It's not a blockbuster signing, but it's a lad who's going to come in, similar to Chow, where they're both similar ages, and there's no doubt about it. Look at the squad, who Eddie Howe has improved in his coach and staff. No doubt about that. I can improve in Villa. It's sad for Villa to lose a local lad, a bit like we did with Longstaff. I think Ramsey's stats, I think it was like in all competitions, I think he scored 4 or 5 goals in all comps last season. Got a bit of a injury. Was it his hamstring or thighs? One of the two. And Morgan Rogers, I think, is probably more developed ahead of him, but it'll still be a good squad signing, 100%. And we need depth. We need depth because of the amount of games that we've got coming. Darren, I hope you're doing all right. Welcome to the live stream. If you can drop us a massive like, every year is over 300 years in the comments. It costs you nout. If Ramsey and Willock are in the rotation, does Miley need to go out low? No, we've got to keep Miley. We've got to have 6 centre midfielders. Mark says for a strike, I'll be all over Amara at Wolfsburg. Check him out. He's a whopper. When you say a whopper, that's not a good terminology, mate. It's not. What about chucking that big Dan Burn up top on Saturday might be worth it. Last 10 minutes, last 5 minutes, if we need a goal, why not? Gone long. All good, Lee. Hope you're doing well too, mate. I am doing well. I'm doing fantastic well. I'm loving the weather, by the way. I'm absolutely loving the hot weather. So let's switch it back over to the share screen facilities. I did want to talk about, I did say I'll come back to Nick Pope, because Nick Pope, which is rather annoying, because any of you who saw the videos out in Asia, I bought the goalkeeper top and I put Nick Pope 22 on the back, haven't I? And I got it from JD. And I don't have the receipt. So maybe I'll wear a jacket over the top of that goalkeeper top. I don't know. I'm a bit miffed by that, because Nick Pope has changed numbers. And you can see here, Hall's got the number 3 shirt. We knew that a couple of weeks ago, so he's reverted back to number 3. Interesting, we don't have a number 9. So who's going to take up that number 9 berth? Interesting to see that. And of course, you're going to spot the number 14 straight away. Is that, yeah, Alexander Isak will wear number 14. Thiaw is wearing 12. This was just announced. The squad numbers were announced before his signing. So Thiaw will wear 12. Isak has been given a shirt number. I think it just makes sense to give him a shirt number, because if we didn't, it would just cause more negativity, more bad news, and the stereotypes will twist it and so on. So those are your numbers coming up at Langa. Obviously, we picked 20. We knew that in pre-season. And then Ramsdale's 32. So those are your first team. Obviously, the under-21s will have higher numbers. I would imagine they might be wearing some of their numbers tonight. I think they will be. So I'm at that game, the under-21 tonight. So make sure you are subscribed to both NFTV Extra and Newcastle Fans TV for all the latest on that. Ben Jacobs, so I did have muted, but I did want to come on to start talking about Wissa. As you can see, we are going to talk about him now. So Ben Jacobs, now, not 100% reliable. What I will say is Bournemouth are in advanced talks to sign Bayer Leverkusen Moroccan forward Amin Aldley, who was actually pals with Malick Thiaw. If any of you have seen his interview, who's his best friend in football, which is a coincidence. Leverkusen seeking 26 million, and agreement is close. Adley is viewed as a replacement for Brentford target Dango Otaro, which could in turn allow Yoane Wissa to join Newcastle. So it's like a snowball effect, this. So we want Wissa. Vissa's not going to be allowed until Brentford sign Otara from Bournemouth. Bournemouth won't allow Otara to leave until they sign Adley. So it's proper knock-on effect. So there you go with that. And that's also with Alex Crook from Talk Sport. So there you go. Right, Wissa. Great Hope half an hour ago says that Yoane Wissa has been told by Brentford today to train with the players who won't be part of this season's first team squad. Dominoes still need to fall, i.e. Adley to Bournemouth, Otara to Brentford, but there remains hope of Newcastle move before the weekend. Now, a couple of things on these two stories. One, Wissa was with the first team last week, so he was training, but now this has changed. He's been pushed aside a little bit like Isaac Hayden was at Newcastle, where he's just not going to be involved. Ryan Fraser, another one. So he's training away. I don't think he's with the under-21s, but I think he's just training away with players that are not needed. So they'll need to be shifted out, which is probably... Look, I don't like his attitude. I don't like Isak's attitude, but it's probably a positive that for Newcastle that this has probably happened, because they're saying he's not going to be involved. But obviously the domino effect that we have here with all of these players, a knock-on effect. I think Newcastle, where it is at the minute, Newcastle are confident that they will get Wissa. I think he's already agreed. I think the fee's probably already done. I think it's just a case of we need that replacement in first. So Bournemouth obviously are wanting to get Adley, which then allow Otara to leave for Brentford, which allow Wissa to leave. It's an absolute, right, carry on, like, don't get me wrong, but we're at Wednesday now. It needs to escalate pretty quick. I think the deadline's Friday midday, if I'm not mistaken, for Wissa to join Newcastle United. Will it be done in the next 48 hours? Who knows? Good to see, Geordie, you become a member of the channel. Wonderfully, that'll unlock some videos for you. Have a little look, Geordie, after this video. I'll probably do another members video the next couple of days as well for you. So, hey, Ches, are we doing all right? Onamora, sorry, by Whopper. I mean, he's a serious baller. Mark, I know what you meant, man. Lightning fast and scores with both feet, gets a rake of assists. So how come he's not had a move to Dortmund or a Leverkusen or a Bayern yet? Is he not at that level yet? They know he's not going, so they don't want him to pivot any first team tactics. Yeah, possibly, possible. It's shut for the squad registration still 12 o'clock on Friday, midday. And Wolfson's gonna say sorry to change the subject, but happy birthday to the true legend, Alan Shearer. Yeah, we've already tweeted Big Al out about him. Yeah, I think he's 50. He's gonna kill us here. 52, is he? Is he 52? I'm sure he's 52. Mora is good, but the only permanent joined Wolfsburg this season. His transfer fee could be inflated. Yeah. I've typed the squad registration as you said it, says Matt. Interestingly. So those are where we are at in terms of up to speed. So just to recap for everybody who's joining late. How about drop us a like? Come on. Ramsey deal is not done, despite a couple of videos and a couple of media outlets on articles saying on YouTube and on media articles saying it's done. It's not. Talks are continuing. And Ramsey is talking to Aston Villa about his exit. Wissa is now being training away from the first team, initially was, and that has a domino effect on because Bournemouth want a striker in, and then Brentford want their striker in, and that will allow Wissa to leave. So Newcastle, unfortunately, are bottom of that pile at the minute. So that's where we are with that. Vlachodimos obviously sealed his loan to Sevilla. We've talked about the number changes, and of course we've signed Malick Thiaw, a tune called Malick, if you want to say that. Yeah, we'll read a couple of comments up before we start a wrap up. Lee, my sister-in-law Carol, no, you didn't, man. No, you didn't, Ricardo, because I wasn't in Gosforth yesterday. Stop being daft. Because I wasn't. I was down Redcar watching non-league. Still hoping on El Canu's release clause. Craig Hope has said that won't happen if we sign Ramsey. So it's one or the other. 55, Shiro was born 1970. Yeah, I've made him younger, Chippers. I made him younger. If he sees that video, he will love that, won't he? Who do you want to replace Isaac? See, I did want Chesko. I'm not gonna lie to you, but now it's kind of fell away. I did want Ratatouille, who was in Serie A, who's banging the goals in for Atlanta, but he's going to move to the Middle East rather. So it's difficult. Isn't it? I've said Ramos. I would be happy if Ramos scored 19 goals last season. Second choice PSG. Would he come for first team football? Because the money would be there if we sold Isaac. Is there any other names that you would like to say, like proper out and out? Correction, 55. I always thought he was born the same year as me. I think the Champions League draw is before deadline day. So do you reckon that's going to impact any transfers? Matt Lewis, you win question of the day. Because I think the Champions League draw is the 26th, 28th. It's one of the two off the top of your head. Because I'm sure the Carabao Cup's the same day. So we'll be busy that day. Yeah, it could do. It could have a massive effect seeing Newcastle's name in the Champions League, but I think players will already know that we're in the Champions League as well because that'll be sold to them. So Malick Thiaw came to Newcastle if we weren't in the Champions League? Probably still would, but I think having that Champions League, we're playing Champions League football this season, probably helps maybe one or two persuade. Do you know what? Yeah, why not? Not Malick Thiaw, I think that was already done. That was a long-term interest, so I think that would have happened anyways, to be honest, even if we didn't. But what I'm trying to say, it's a selling point, isn't it? Evan Nielsen from Bournemouth, he has a release clause allegedly. Again, we'll be in that same boat, surely, to life. If we sign Evan Nielsen, then they need to have a replacement in. Hi, Lee, how's it going, Jonathan? Yeah, spot on, thank you. I'd love to see the big Serb, Vlahovic from Juventus, join us, says Craig. Don't believe everything Hope says. There's very little that to tell the truth, you know that. Yes, but we are talking about news. That's why we are talking about it. I'm not saying that everything is gospel. Even Eddie Howe said that. Eddie Howe said in his press at the weekend that some of the media reports are spot on, but some of them are also way off. So don't always read. Yeah, I totally agree on that. Totally agree. But like an extra squad depth with the distance travelled as well, says Matt. The Mighty Quinn. Mighty Quinn, that was before my time, Mickey Quinn. Scored 4 in his debut, though, didn't he? Which we don't need to skip around the F Cup because of the Champions League. Yeah, and then what we got, Mark says, so how much you spend providing Isaac says. Do you know what? I think if Isaac stays, because we've signed Alanga, we've signed Chow, there's 2 big ones. Ramsey's a £4 million loan. If we get Ramsey in, there's another 40 million and Vissa 35. I think that's it. If Isaac stays, I think that might be it. Potentially, maybe a young lad loan to buy for centre midfield as well. Potentially, but I can't say we're spending on 2 centre midfielders. I can't say that. Would you take a draw on Saturday, Lee? Yes, because I'm heading down there, so I would take a draw, because our record's very indifferent at Villa Park, whereas at St James Park, it's phenomenal against them. So without a recognised striker, because let's face it, Anthony Gordon's playing up top on Saturday. He'd probably switch with Barnes during the game for a short spell, but yeah, I'll take a point against Aston Villa. I don't want to start off with a negativity of defeat. I'd love a win, don't get me wrong, of course I would. Should try the same loan with the option to buy exactly. Some clubs will have to sell if they pay enough. And I think we need to keep Park this season as well. Yeah, he's done well in pre-season, very lively. I think with the under-21s, because you've got Trevor Sanusi there as well, that's quite a strong left wing position, unless you move Sanusi over on the right-hand side. So don't be surprised one of those two gets a loan out towards the end. Obviously, Antonio Cadero, who's another left winger, he's already joined out on loan, hasn't he? Went to Belgium. So don't be too surprised with that. But yeah, it's good that we've got them as backup. Could we split payments with some of the players? Potentially, yeah. That's Newcastle have done that plenty of times. I don't say why not. Why not spend more even if Isak stays? As we know, he'll leave the following season. Only a thought. It depends on that 3-year cycle, doesn't it? Because obviously we've just passed 1 year where we've got an extra 73 million, haven't we, banked? And obviously we're going to have the Champions League money this season. So I'm not going to say that I'm an expert at PSR and all that sort of every 3 years because I don't know the numbers. But I really don't know. Under 21s will have Champions League games as well. Yeah, so, well, it's not called up. I know what you mean, Matt. I know what you mean. Less loans out this season, potentially. Do you think Eddie will be crafty and Alanga will play for the striker role this weekend? Don't be surprised. I think it'll be Gordon, but I won't be surprised that during the game it gets moved around because he was looking at that, the second friendly, wasn't he? Burn Bottom starting on Saturday. I'll go Burn. I think it might be Dan Burn. I don't know why. I reckon some of the youngsters will get game time this season. Escape in the first League Cup game. Give the Korean lad a go. It depends if we get in the third round. Obviously, we don't play in the second round. And it's mad because the League Cup was on just this week, yesterday and today, isn't it? Could we say 5 at the back of Saturday chippers? Yeah, potentially wing backs. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past it. Do not put it past it. Right, I think we're going to wrap up there. Drop us a massive like on this live, everybody. If there's any news later, I'll try and get it out, but I am going to the game, so my mind will be focused on producing content for the under 21s. But yeah, love yous and leave yous. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.